to depression. You're tuned into 32 FM 94.9. The first station dedicated to bringing you joy, happiness, and laughter.
A very good morning to you out there. It is the morning of the 22nd of November 2022. This is the Break of Dawn paper review. As always, we're taking a look at the major stories out of the newspapers this morning. We have a plethora of them that we'll be taking a look at this morning. My name is Kenny Durotilu.
Good morning to you, dear listener. Welcome to another time on the papers review. I'm Olutayo Ogunade.
Well, I have with me the Daily Post, the Punch newspaper, and the Nation newspaper this morning. Starting off with the Daily Post front page. Nigeria's failure to take population growth seriously, dangerous. It's coming from Gbajabiamila. Ex-Akeredolu's aide abducted. Kidnappers demand 100 million naira. Minister disowns 206 billion naira project fund inserted into 2023 budget. In politics, 2023, why Atiku won't win presidential election. That's coming from Kwakwanso. Supreme Court orders retrial of Ogun PDP governorship legal battle. Elsewhere from the Daily Post, again, Ilorin Emirate mourns as retired Justice Titi Daibu dies in Abuja. NAS Commission accused of violating Establishment Act over clerk appointment. Late Kwasu VC, Professor Mohammed Akobi, buried in Ilorin. Nigeria's ex-accountant general, Otunla Fadile, lose 775 million naira properties to federal government. Again, 2023, Catholic bishop warns against voting same-faith ticket. Alleged fraud, pre-election matters, stall Ogun speaker, EFCC case. Let me take a couple more. Hold a rally in Kano. Ganduje challenges Kwakwanso. 2023 presidency. Peter Obi opens up on offering Kwakwanso 40 billion naira to step down. That's a massive one there out of the Daily Post this morning.
We're live on Facebook, 32FM 949 Ibadan, live on Facebook. I start from Premium Times today. Over 130 reps not returning after 2023 polls. That's according to an official report there. Nigerian Air Force bombs notorious terrorist hideouts in Zamfara. Police launch manhunt for killers of 3 officers in Southeast. PDP crisis. Wiki associates insist on Ayu's removal, say they're open to negotiation. Okay, away from Premium Times, so there we go to Daily Trust newspaper. Is all in the north. A blessing occurs. It's a question. Sadiya Farouk, 206 billion naira inserted into my ministry's budget. As Buhari kicks off all drilling in North, Bauchi Gombe residents demand jobs, clean environment. Man arrested attempting to steal car in Abuja. Fire got 6 stalls in Jigawa. As Buhari, took that. 2023, like Obi, Wiki offers to support Kwankwanso. Security operatives overpower terrorists, rescue 76 victims in Kaduna. Ekiti Assembly gets first female speaker. Southeast gets lion's share of Natives' controversial recruitment. Still from Daily Trust newspaper, from the business side, experts profile ways to strengthen PPP structure. Will mobilize against anti-people candidate NNDI. CMD raises alarm as 600 health workers resign from UCH. CMD raises alarm as 600 health workers resign from UCH. 2023, Atiku promises to revive dam, enhance trade. 2023, Kwankwaso's followers have reduced. He is going nowhere. Ganduje. And another one here, Atiku to Gombe voters votes me to revive Tafawa Balewa's virtues. We'll move on.
From the Punch newspaper, major story: federal government's domestic airlines legal battle kicks off Thursday. Presidency: North can't dictate to others, says Adibanjo. Hoodlums invade Atiku rally. Supporters injured. On the Metro Plus pages, you find this story. Motorcyclist flees after woman dies in Lagos hotel. 2023, how to avoid electoral violence. Can Sultan. NAS group kicks over Tambuwal's appointment as clerk. 661 clinical staff resign, relocate abroad. UCH CMD says. Elsewhere from the Punch newspaper this morning, Metro Plus pages: mob brutalizes lady for stealing iPhone in Rivers. Motorcyclist fees after woman dies in Lagos. Already took that particular one. Business: Nigeria won't face food crisis. Federal government replies IMF. Petrol, electricity subsidies hurting poor Nigerians. That's coming from the World Bank. Let's take a couple more. Hoodlums invade Atiku rally. Already took that particular one. Zamfara Bishop condemns APC Muslim ticket. Ogun PDP Supreme Court orders retrial. Party crisis worsens. And also from the Punch newspaper this morning, editorials: Nigeria Air Project hits stormy weather. Nigeria's losing the battle against poverty. NMA's proposes medical tests for politicians. Some of the editorials out of the Punch newspaper this morning.
Right from the Guardian newspaper: how Zulum hired private jets to fly wounded major to Abuja for treatment. Southeast youth call for Soludo's impeachment. Insecurity, economy top agenda as governors meet today. Experts kicks against health certificate for travelers into Nigeria. Buhari reignites politics of oil in North, close to another election. Obi: in 2023, we need a competent and fit leader. Gunmen abduct over 100 in Zamfara. Gunmen abduct over 100 in Zamfara. More from Guardian. G5 governors meet in Lagos. Now Integrity Group insists on Ayo's removal. Next government to inherit 71.5 trillion naira debt liabilities after the 29th of May. That's from the Guardian.
Let's take a couple from the Nation newspaper real quick. Supports group decries media attack on Tinubu. Peace awards for Abdulsalami, Jonathan Malami, NBA president, others. SET leads as 11,629 right teachers. Professional qualifying exam. Ogunade receives first African winner of AFS award. Alimona. Also from the Nation, Nigeria's unity negotiable, say Ohaneze, NEF. We'll take some messages right now. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at some other stories, bringing you analysis, and of course taking your reactions to those stories. Stay with us.
Everybody won't connect to something greater. Connect to the moment, the winning goal, to history. You know fit do now. Watch the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 on Showmax Pro. Oh yeah now. Stream all 64 matches of the World Cup live from Super Sport on Showmax. Experience every game, anywhere, on up to 2 devices. It is available in HD and 4K also. Almost sign up now at showmax.com.
Adami Mago. Májèjìyà bí aláìní o.
Ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí gangan ni o. Ìsọjí iṣẹ́ agbára Ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́jọ́ mẹ́sàn-án tó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀. Adami Mago Global Convention. Ọdún ayọ̀ ti 2022. Nínú pàgọ́ ilẹ̀ tó ti máa dedicate ẹ̀. Adami Mago Jesus City. Ọlọ́run tó pe wòlíì Sáàmù Olúwalú Adami Mago. Ó fẹ́ tú gbogbo èèyàn lẹ́nu convention eléyìí. Pẹ̀lú àkòrí Absolute Deliverance. Ọjọ́ Friday gẹ́gẹ́ November 25. The Sunday 4th December. Ní Ọlọ́run Ayọ̀ Babalọ́lá ti máa tú àwọn èèyàn sílẹ̀. Nípasẹ̀ ìpè ọ̀pọ̀ wòlíì májẹ̀mú. Àwọn olórin ẹ̀mí Bísí Aláwìyé Àlùkò. Bùkọ́lá Akíndé Ṣẹ́wọ́lẹ́ Jésù. Esther gbẹ́kẹ̀lé ìlàjà akétúndí ọlọ́run sọ́bẹ̀ adéyínká aláṣeyọrí pásítọ̀ ẹ̀sùn ọ̀làdélé CAC president wòlíì sàmúlò aládàmímọ́gò wàá máa pàṣẹ ìtúsílẹ̀ àǹfààní one-on-one counseling tó máa wà látọjọ́ Friday 25 ní Sunday 4th December ní adámímọ́gò Jesus City ìbẹ̀jùlẹ́kì ẹ̀pẹ́ expressway ìlàmìjà village aláró city nílùú Èkó.
ẹ ǹlẹ́ o alábàágbé mi mo ní kí n wá bẹ̀yìn wò ni. ìyá Bíọ́lá àlàáfíà la wà. ẹ ṣeun. mo kọ yín kọ wọ́n wà. ẹ̀yin náà ńkọ́.
kódà ìyá mi lábúlé gan wà lálàáfíà. ìyá Bíọ́lá ṣé kò sí.
mẹ́wòó ìtasọ́sọ́ jọ̀lọ́ fún yín ò jẹ́ rí mú mi o ni mo bá ní wọ́n fọwọ́ ara mi tún ara mi ṣe.
ẹ wọlé wá jẹ́wọ́ jàre.
àgbéyẹ̀fun ìsẹ̀bẹ̀ ọ̀ngá jọ̀lọ́f tuntun dé o. ohun ìsẹ̀bẹ̀ tó fúnrẹ́sì jọ̀lọ́fù yín lójúlówó adùn àti ìtasọ́sọ́ jọ̀lọ́fù tí ò ṣeé kọ̀ sílẹ̀.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
Dabon na the first and ogbonge herbal toothpaste. E get ingredients like lemon, mint, ginger, and basil wey dey make our teeth kakaraka.
Madam Rose, na true you talk o. Dabon na the cocoa herbal punch wey get plenty natural herbs. Dabon, the cocoa choice for my family.
Twisco to support their big dreams. Twisco, power your dream.
kí ni àbúrò wẹ̀ ni.
ọjà sí mo rà lórí Jumia ti dé.
Jumia níbí.
ìpolówó lọ. mo ń lọ gbà á. Jumia ti wà ní lálùpọ̀ pẹ̀lú ibùdó ìgbà ọjà tó súnmọ́ yín ní shop 4 Able God Plaza ẹlẹ́sìngódógbò bus stop òpópónà márosẹ̀ Ìbàdàn sí Ìwó Adéwùmí Ìbàdàn Ọ̀yọ́ State. ní báyìí ẹ lè fi ìrọ̀rùn ra gbogbo ohun èlò ojoojúmọ́ tẹ́ nílò lórí Jumia kágbé lọ sí ibùdó ìgbà ọjà náà kẹ̀sì lọ gbà á. ẹ lè sanwó lórí ayélujára tàbí nígbà tí ẹ bá gba ọjà yín ní ibùdó ìgbà ọjà wa. ẹ sì tún lè ṣe ìbéèrè fún ọjà níbẹ̀. ra ọjà lórí Jumia báyìí. Jumia ohun èlò ojoojúmọ́ rẹ lárọ̀ọ́wọ́tó.
No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day, no matter when I show you.
A mother's love is unconditional. Nothing serves this love better than a bowl of Indomie. So, show some love with Indomie.
Show me love. You show
Christ Mercy International Church presents 21 days powerful revival. níbi tí Ọlọ́run ti ṣetán láti lo àwọn òjíṣẹ́ rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àkórí ìtọ́dún yìí igi gbígbẹ́ léyìí ògì gbígbẹ́nu ayé wa ní òye láṣẹ Èdùmàrè tí yóò sì máa wáyé ní gbogbo aago 5 di aago 8 àṣálẹ́ ọjọ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti 1st of December to 21st of December nínú ọdún tá a wà yìí. Prophet Mayowa Moses Fèyíjì àti ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run bíi Prophet Olúfẹ́mi Òní, Prophet Paul Adémodì, Apostle Olúwaṣẹ́gun Olúwaṣọgbọ́n, Prophet Adésọjí Ọ̀nàbánjọ, Apostle Elijah Olúṣọlá, Prophet Augustine Ogena, Prophet Paul Àrólé Jésù, Prophet Ṣẹ́gun George, Prophet Samuel Olúdáre tó fi mọ́ Prophet Isaac Jayéọlá pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ olórin ẹ̀mí bíi Akíntúndé Ìlàjà Ọlọ́run sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹni ìtàn Olúṣẹ́gun Bámidélé EOB Bọ́sẹ̀ Super àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. gbogbo nínú gbọ̀ngàn ìjọ wa tó wà ní number 35 Adámọ̀lẹ́kọ̀ Street beside Butterlight Bread Ìmọ̀lẹ́ Fálàfíà Òkè Àdó Ìbàdàn 08077309381. Jésù dúdì yóò. Shalom.
So, here's exactly what 7-Up's Fido Dido thinks about life. That's right, Fido has no time to think, and overthink life. Fido just does Fido. Fido likes to chill out on billboards and sip several cans, bottles, and glasses of 7-Up. In fact, when Fido isn't sipping 7-Up, he's drinking it. Fido chooses to be a black and white character who gives the world 1,000,000,001 colors. And when Fido doesn't feel like talking on radio, he gets people like me to talk for him. Fido is Fido, and you should be you, because nothing shall pass.
7-Up, be you, nothing shall pass. 7-Up, the diff is clear.
Bring out your biggest ideas in the metaverse. Get creative in augmented reality. Dress up your avatar and turn your art into an NFT. Naija, come flex first in the metaverse with Meta Technologies. Go to meta.com to discover how.
32 FM 94.9.
Martin, and you're there. 32 FM 94.9, 15 minutes to 7. Yes, it's the Papers Review. Austin Adumo joins us on the show. Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, Tayo.
Morning,
Good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. Let's start off with this one. It's something that caught my eye. 661 clinical staff resign, relocate abroad. That's according to the UCH MD. We also hear that 15 health workers resign weekly, according to him as well. What do you make of this?
Yes, that is on the average. On the average, 15 persons per week, health and clinical officers of the University College Hospital Ibadan. The CMD just came out to address the public. You know, we have said this on this platform times without number, that if care is not taken, if nothing is done by the government to address the brain drain, especially in the health sector, there may come a time in Nigeria where patients will have money and there will be acute shortage of health workers that will attend to them. Majorly we focus on doctors leaving the country, and there are lots more of other health workers, nurses, clinical staff, health technologies, and what have you. Those who constitute health workers and social workers, they are urgently and desperately needed in the United Kingdom as we speak now. Of course, the envoy of the United Kingdom over the weekend came out to say that the UK government and the federal government of Nigeria is working to address the issue of a possible brain drain, especially in the health sector. This is the trend. We need to make the environment at home relatively conducive for people to work by ensuring that, number one, we put infrastructure in place. Then secondly, we look at the welfare and other associated packages for health workers. Let me give you an example. Apart from the issue of people just going because of money, we also need facility. As a patient, you need a better facility to be treated in, and as clinical workers too, you also need a better facility to be able to put to practice what you have acquired in the school. There was a time a little boy was rushed to this same particular hospital. They said he would have to undergo surgery, and the mother said, my 6-year-old child, that will be too bad. And the mother said, oh doctor, you see what you do for me, just help me do whatever that can sustain the boy until I get to the United Kingdom. The guy was flown to the UK and he was given antibiotics. The mother says immediately the guy was given the drug, maybe 2 hours later the guy started jumping up and down, something that surgery will have taken place in Nigeria here. So these are some of the issues. It is bad enough that our leaders, political leaders, go out for medical tourism. These are some of the little areas that our health sector need revitalization in the country. Late tomorrow, Musa Yar'Adua was diagnosed and treated for different ailments in Nigeria for several years until he got out of the country before he was diagnosed for the real reason about his head. So there are a lot of problems that the government really need to put in place. It's a good one that the CMD is coming out to let us know that even what we talk about on the radio, it is a reality that happens almost on a weekly basis. So it is not just about doctors, it's also about other health workers within the health sector. So the government must do everything within its power to provide an enabling environment, build the infrastructure, also take care of the wages and other area that have to do with training of health workers in
Is
Nigeria.
there anything we can do? Because these numbers are quite alarming. 661, 15 a week. Is there anything that can be done, talking about like stopgap measure, to actually address this as soon as possible?
Multi-dimensional poverty loafer.
you understand? See, Kenny, in the immediate, nothing can be done. That's the truth. That's the basic truth. Whatever the government can do will be maybe in a short term, in phases, long term. That is what the government can do. Even if you partner with the United Kingdom, the envoy of the United Kingdom in Nigeria did say that the UK has become an attractive destination for for Nigerians, both health workers, those in the health sector, and other Nigerians. They go for study, they go for work, and what have you. So the government really need to look at this issue and address it frontally, because it will be bad enough for you to have money and you can't get treated even when you get to a kind of hospital. I know those that are listening to us this morning, they have one person or two who has traveled, who are health workers, who has traveled, because apart from the issue of studying in the United Kingdom, study visa, the other area is for health workers, caregivers, and that one is also on the rise.
Okay. All right, we take this one here from the Vanguard newspaper. Academic Staff Union of Universities has threatened to skip backlog of academic sessions halted by their 7-month strike if federal government persists on the no work, no pay rule.
Yes, it will really make no sense for members of ASU to go on strike at this particular point in time. It will really make no sense, and a lot of Nigerians will ask questions, why do you have to call off the strike in the first instance? Of course, there were prayer at that time. There were interventions from various quarters, especially from the leadership of the House of Representatives led by the Speaker. That intervention was ripe at that time, and with another subsisting court order that status quo be maintained, we suffice to say that ASU should go back to classroom. Hence, the need to call off the strike at that particular point in time. But when you deal with a government that does not really care, you have to be very careful. This was not it's not the first time this will be happening. In 2020, during the lockdown, it happened when the federal government had to blackmail and deceive members of ASU to go back to work. And after going back to work, those demands were never met. And because those demands were not met, ASU decided to resume the strike this year. So these are issues that the government had to deal with. For strike at this time, I don't think it will be a popular idea to go on strike at this time. But why is it that the federal government is so notorious in making good its promises? Some of these agreements, not as if the federal government didn't know the implication. You enter into some of these agreements willingly. Let's even leave the renegotiated 2009 agreement. But this Buhari government has made several agreements with the government, with the members of ASU. So whatever that needs to be done, but Dabi Amila told us, I think 2 weeks ago, that once the president returns to Nigeria, approval will be given to actually make further intervention in areas that the demand of ASU can be met. So for ASU, I think they should exercise patience, let the federal government, especially Mr. President, communicate as far as that is concerned. I think there are officials of the government, such as ministers, especially that of labor and productivity, and the minister of education, who do not want this issue to be resolved. That is the way I see it. It's my personal opinion anyway. And if you go out there, it's like a popular opinion too, that this individual, they want to soil the image of the government, the image of the ruling party, the image of the president. That is why the president should not just go to sleep, that some people who are appointed are handling the issue. This is a pre-election year. Campaign has even started.
Now, Nigerians should know that between 2015 and 2022, the budget allocation for education has dropped from 10.79% to 5.39%. That tells you how much we really value education. There is one thing I feel President Buhari should be able to fix. Health has been a major, downside of his personal life, even as a president.
Yes.
Okay, he keeps going abroad for, one will expect that at least President Buhari will fix the health sector, in this country. In the 7 or 8 years, of his own term, he will at least fix the health sector.
Unfortunately, the president is not looking in that direction, and the time is short for him. That is why we have said that when you are elected into office, you hit the ground running, because the time you think you still have, a time will come, the time will be very short. Now, the president, has in a matter of months, will leave office. So I don't see the magic or the miracle he can put in place to revitalize the health sector. Immediately he came back in 2016 that he said he has never been that sick before in his life. We thought that some of these facilities, some of the health sector management,
he spoke against medical tourism.
He spoke against it. Now is the chief culprit as far as medical tourism is concerned. Nobody is saying that the president should not be treated, or if the president is sick, he must stay in Nigeria. We have said we can address the issue of medical tourism. If you are asking health workers not to go, you yourself as the president, you don't even trust the capacity of the Nigerian health sector. So what are we talking about?
All right. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, has disowned the 206 billion naira inserted into the ministry's 2023 budget estimate. What do you call this?
That is budget padding.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Pure and applied budget padding. That is what it means. She could not substantiate, not justify the reason for the execution of this project. She could not even pinpoint some of this project. You see, if you have a line item in the budget for a project execution for 2022, this is not the first time this is coming. No, it was also captured in the budget for 2022. Funds were not released. You now decide to increase the budget by over 10%. You understand? Like 10 times of the amount it was. Yeah. Let's say there's a budget of 10 billion for this year, and because of paucity of funds, no money to execute such a project. What now gave you the conviction that if you increase that budget, that there was no money for 10 billion, you now increase it to 100 billion, for example, in the next budget? What is the assurance that you are going to get money to execute such a project? The truth of this matter is that election is coming. People are padding budget to be able to raise funds for their candidate and for their party to be able to win election. It's as simple as that. Most of the time you see this in a pre-election year. Of course, the House of Representatives, those who interrogated that at the budget defense, they have also invited the Minister of Finance, right, because the humanitarian minister said, just pointing fingers. Yes, I cannot really justify this. Maybe the Minister of Finance will come and do justice to it. So in the matter of this, let's keep our fingers crossed and wait for the Minister of Finance. This is how our money fly. There is always a collaboration. Before budget padding can fly, there will be a connivance between officials of the executive arm of government and members of the parliament. This is the way it has always been. This is the first time in a pre-election year that life is becoming more unbearable for the people. You know, politicians put palliatives in place, soft gap measure in place in the pre-election year, just to attract people and make people feel at home. But now,
for 200 naira, 215 naira,
210, 215, some 220
yesterday, 215 naira,
215 naira. That is crazy.
And nobody's talking about it.
Nobody's talking about it. The GMD of the NNPC just come out to say that it is no longer sustainable to dispense at even 180. Then what is the current price? No official price as we speak now. The marketers sell at variance. Whatever they feel, they sell.
So they can wake up again tomorrow and say it's no longer 215.
It's not that they can wake up tomorrow. Where the price is going to, they have not really got.
Who regulates?
Nobody. That's the basic truth, and it's bitter. Nobody regulates. The government is supposed to regulate. In the idea of a fully deregulated market of the downstream, the government will remove its hand. But as it is today, the government is still paying heavily on fuel subsidy. And you think you cannot regulate the system? The DPR are not even moving again. The bad news about this whole story is that marketers still shut their fuel station. And when they do that, they see some of them see that skeletal operation. When they do that, they are still envisaging a kind of artificial scarcity. And you know the festive period is coming. People have to move around. So that's the issue. The government is just dealing with the people. The government is supposed to stand in the gap for the people to ensure that the citizens, especially the vulnerable people, are not exploited, not extorted. But in Nigeria today, nobody is watching the back for anybody. The government is just leaving us alone. The GMD has come out. Don't forget, from 160 to 180, it was not even the government that did the increment. It was marketers, private depot owners. Why is it that there are no products in the NNPC depot? Why? If you want to contract it to private depot owner, which means that you are the sole importer, you have to regulate the system. In as much as you still pay subsidy, you have to regulate the system. The PIA does not suggest that we should continue to pay subsidy. The PIA suggests largely that we should deregulate the downstream petroleum sector. But now you have not fully deregulated because there is nothing that you can show for it. So I think the government is culpable.
President Buhari has less than how many days now to leave office, and yet he's supervising the drilling of oil in northern Nigeria. What is your take on this reigniting the politics of oil in the northern part of Nigeria?
Yes, I think there is an agenda for that. This is not the first time. Even the Lechard basis, I think in 2017, when lecturers and geologists from University of Maiduguri were murdered in cold blood in search for oil. There is this politics of wanting to equate themselves with the southern part of the country, especially the Niger Delta, the oil producing area. I think 2 days ago I read in the papers that Kogi now is part of oil producing state. My own belief is that if all the 36 states at the end of the day become oil producing, what is in need for the common man? The oil that has even become like a cost to us. The world, the West is moving from this fuel that we are talking about. They are looking at fossil fuel, they are looking at clean energy and some other better source of means of transportation. We are even looking at electric cars, electric vehicles. Then we are still so much engrossed with oil. Right from the time that we have extracted oil in Nigeria, what has been the benefit of the common man? Even the Niger Delta that we talk about, what are the visible development in terms of physical infrastructure, how to better the life of the people in the Niger Delta? Now the government is engrossed. I think they want to be able to get as many states as possible in the north that will become oil producing before they will now look at the issue of fiscal federalism. You understand? Resource control. Maybe that is what they are driving at, but let's see how it goes. Artificial intelligence and human intelligence is driving economy of developed country in the world today, and we still talk about the world. What are the natural resources do they have in the United Kingdom?
Unfortunately, we've seen in this same world where countries are so blessed are so poor.
Yes, that's the case. That's the case in Nigeria.
So it's not about what you have.
It's not about what you
do.
It's about the management. How have you been able to better manage the resources at your disposal?
See what Qatar has done with their oil money.
Oil money. Look at that. That's the truth. Look at even Angola here. I think about 2 months ago, Angola declared excess of over $10 billion.
We need to go on a break.
From crude.
We need to go on a break. We'll be back after this break.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
àwọn kan bẹ tí ẹni lọ́kàn àti àmà ní akíkanjú ni wọ́n sì máa ń dán nǹkan láwò. níbo ló máa wà lọ́jọ́ kẹrin oṣù December ọdún yìí? ìjọ ti ṣetán fún ìdíje ayárabíàṣá. ìjọ ti gbáradì fún àríyá tí kò lẹ́gbẹ́. gbáradì fún àríyá fanfaro autofest tó máa wáyé ní Trust Amusement Park Ìbàdàn lọ́jọ́ kẹrin oṣù kejìlá ọdún 2022. àríyá yẹn wò ó máa loud gan. Fearless aṣíwájú nínú àwọn energy drink ló ṣàgbátẹrù fanfaro autofest. Fearless gba àríyá mọ́ra.
Beat Sakpa with Jumia Black Friday. From November 4th to the 30th, you can get access to all those products you've had your eyes on all year at prices that will leave some change in your pocket. You also don't have to pay for delivery fees on thousands of products when you order above 1,999 naira. T's and C's apply.
Jumia, your everyday delivered.
Dabon are the first and Ogbonge herbal toothpaste. E get ingredients like lemon, mint, ginger, and basil where they make our teeth kakaraka.
Madam Rose, now true you talk Dabon are the cocoa herbal punch. We get plenty natural herbs. Dabon, the cocoa choice for my family.
No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. Show up for me every day, no matter when I show you.
A mother's love is unconditional. Nothing serves this love better than a bowl of Indomie. So, show some love with Indomie.
tó.
ṣé mo ṣe dáadáa?
ìyá mi ẹ ṣe dáadáa èmi náà fẹ́ di eléré orí ìtàgé bíi tiyín.
ọmọ mi ní ẹ̀bùn ọpọlọ torí ẹ̀ ni mo ṣe máa ń tì lẹ́yìn nípa mímú lọ wo àgbéjọ àwọn òṣèré.
ọmọ yín gbìyànjú.
mo máa ń ràn lọ́wọ́ lórí àkọ́wò rẹ̀.
ẹ forí balẹ̀ fún ìdá mi.
òkàrè Twisco ni mo máa ń fún un kára ẹ̀ lè jí pépé.
Màámi, wọ́n ti mú mi fẹ́rẹ́ náà.
àsìkò tèmi náà rèé láti fi yangàn fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Twisco láti ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn èròǹgbà wọn. Twisco fún un lágbára láti mẹ́rù ọkàn rẹ̀ ṣẹ.
When I finish downloading this show like this, I will go straight to Tayo's house to eat sweet jollof. Then enjoy this movie on YouTube. It's just that Tayo will now start disturbing me to turn on my Wi-Fi for him when he can easily enjoy data bonus with MTN for me. With MTN for me, you will get 100% data bonus and discounted data bundles just like that. What are you waiting for? Dial *121# to get started with MTN for me.
Hey, neighbor, I said let me come and check to see if all of you are fine.
Mama Didi, we're doing great. Thank you.
Your husband?
Oh, he's fine.
And you?
Mama Didi, plus my grandfather in the village were fine. What is it?
My dear, the aroma of this jollof rice has been knocking on my door since.
I just had
come
to
and eat Joe. Producing the new Onga Jollof Seasoning Powder. It's the new Jollof Taste Maker, made to give your jollof rice that rich jollof taste and aroma that's really hard to resist.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
Everybody won't connect to something greater. Connect to the moment, the winning goal to history. Unofi do now. Watch a FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 on Showmax Pro. Oh yeah now. Stream all 64 matches of the World Cup live from Super Sport on Showmax. Experience every game, anywhere, on up to 2 devices. It is available in HD and 4K also. Almost sign up now at showmax.com.
Zenith Real Estate and Properties Limited ń ṣàjọ̀dún ọdún méjì gbẹdẹmukẹ promo láfiṣe láti sìn títí di ìparí ọdún. olóko ògbówó ní Treasure Land Estate lálábàtà Abẹ́òkúta 100,000 naira péré ni. Greenland Estate lálábàtà yìí kan náà 200,000 naira péré nìyẹn. Achievers Estate nídò Ìbàdàn ó ti di 450 báyìí. Kings Park Estate ní Mọ́níyà 1 million naira péré ni. bákan náà látúnilẹ̀ ní Rehoboth Park and Garden lélẹ́kùrú Mọ́níyà Sun City Estate alábàtà Mọ́níyà lásìkò àjọ̀dún ọdún méjì àti Ember promo yìí ẹ wá kọ́fà tó lé ńlẹ̀ ọgọ́rùn-ún blọọkù ń bẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ pẹ́ fún gbogbo ń bá tó bá ṣe tá àti kọ́lé. ẹ̀bùn ọdún ti kúnlẹ̀ falafala ráìsì ẹran òróró àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. èrò bá mi ká lọ sí Zenith Real Estate and Properties Limited beside Aremu Block Industry opposite IITA Mọ́níyà Ìbàdàn tàbí second floor Osana House adjacent Mao filling station Ọlọ́runṣògo Road Abẹ́òkúta 0901-697-4421 tàbí 081-3871-4860. Zenith Real Estate and Properties Limited. Asọdún ayọ̀.
Looking for ways to earn extra money on the side within just a few hours of work a day? Then be a JForce agent for Jumia. All you need to do is help customers place their orders, notify them of special deals and offers, and also earn cool money from commissions on every item successfully purchased through you. It's that easy. Register now to be a JForce agent at the nearest Jumia pickup station closest to you, or you can call this number 091-393-75347. Again, 091-343-75347. To get started. Jumia, your everyday delivered.
There is something about the fearless mind. It is brave and audacious. Where will you be on December 4th? Will you be ready for the speed? Will you be ready for the thrill? Get ready for the Fanfare Auto Fest, the Fearless Edition, happening at the Trans Amusement Park Ibadan on December 4th, 2022. The thrill will be mad. The Fanfare Auto Fest is powered by Fearless, Nigeria's #1 energy drink. Fearless, embrace the thrill.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Well, it's good to have you back with us. 32 FM 94.9 Break of Dawn paper review 707055000 94908097000 949. The phone lines are open. Let's get your thoughts on the story shared so far. Hello. Hello, good morning. All right.
As regards the brain drain in Nigeria, it's a huge loss. Because some of this, let me tell the health workers, we use Nigerian resources to train them, particularly the medical doctors. And at the end of the day, they have all fled the country. It's due to insecurity and, of course, poor funding of the health sector. One of the things I thought President Buhari was going to address the health sector, because the promise to reduce the cost of governance, even for anything for the sake of himself. So this is a limit that needs to be addressed, because we know by the end of 2023, maybe it's native doctors that will be attending to us in our hospitals. Good morning.
Rockies, well, we are hoping it will never get to that level. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
This is you from Olutayo.
Right.
Yeah. Hello, journalists. But I think we should look at it this way. Is this man not wanting to destroy that platform so that another man can come on? Can't we listen along that line? Because the way this man, the whole thing is going, we need to think twice. And when you talk of brain drain, you discover that it affects the southerners more. Good morning.
Right. Austin, your comment on that. Good morning. Humble man in the studio. Well, on the issue of statement said by Professor Olutayo that he has no religion. Honestly, Baba Shoyinka is entitled to his opinion. Well, Raja Hafiz Abidemi, thank you. The failure of the federal government to rehabilitate our refineries and other moribund projects like Ajaokuta Steel are part of the factors that are affecting our economy. But people are still drawing salaries from these.
Yes, they draw salary. It's only ASU member that cannot draw salary for work not done.
Please turn on the volume on your radio. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
It's Mr. Gibre.
All right, go on.
From Academy. On the brain drain you are talking about, we are going to have more. Not only medicals. Once those the airlines, they don't think about the common man. You see, this thing is a circle. When you better go from 5 naira to 10 naira, the man at the UCS will not care because he has the money. And when this now, what goes around comes around, this is what is going to happen. We talk about the medical. What of those who cannot even afford 30,000 naira in a month? Corruption. Until when we remove it from this country, that is when we have this.
Thank you. The present federal government failed woefully in some sectors like health and economy, but perform in soul sector. Some of their promises were not met, same as the Oyo State government failed woefully in environmental, education, and agriculture. Okay, that's from Honorable Dikrila. I'm trying to get that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is Sean from Oyo.
Good morning.
Experience in teaching institute. Government got many equipment and limited teaching institutes. It started in 2015. I went to that teaching institute. I will not mention the name. They now begin to use me as experiment. The new consultant now came for sabbatical. They now say, go and bring all these equipment. And the equipment, they now say this. See, not millennium, this millennium. The man was serious. He sent that equipment to US. If you show money, you know, I should come back in July. When I went there in July, I went to the private hospital in Lagos. I went to that very money. To treat myself. I'm still treating myself. I'm not saying government are doing well. People in the health sector, they are capable. I had a friend that went to teaching hospital to do an operation. The doctor said you should go and pay money, 850,000 naira to go to private hospital. He was operated on that teaching hospital with 255,000. We train medical doctors with our money, take them and federal government. After they finish, they go out. In UK, I have a friend that is doing his work college now. He's a consultancy something. He also said he will pay for his consultancy thing. After that one, he will spend 3 good years before they can release him.
Also, there's something we should also look at. Those who are living, we should look at what it takes to live at this time. They are not, it's not convenient. They are not happy. They want to study and be here to practice.
Yes.
They're almost being chased away.
Yes, it's really capital intensive to go out of the country this time, especially to the United Kingdom, either for study or work. Yes, despite that fact, Nigerians are into it. I know people who have sold their houses, sold all their properties just to be there. the economic environment in Nigeria is so hostile.
Interestingly, the government-owned hospitals are still the best place around to get the best.
They are still the best.
Treatment.
They are still the best place around. It talks about a particular problem in the health sector where doctors in government hospital will frustrate the system and divert patients to their own hospital. It's happening. But let me also look at it from this angle. In the private hospital that they pay that 800,000, they will do the surgery once. Tayo, you know, I was in UCH for 3 times surgery for 3 times for a fracture. For 3 times on the hand of my brother that broke his hand at the NYC orientation camp. 3 times. The doctor will just come and say, we made them, we are supposed to do it like this, we didn't do it like this, we'll do it as if it will be free. And at the end of the day, the total amount was around 1.7 million. I regretted that I had to go to, because it was NYC that advised the federal government hospital. If not, I have a private clinic that I will have.
We need to go now. A certain caller suggested that it's looking like President Buhari just wants to, like they say in Yoruba, Shusaga before he leaves.
Of course, that was the way it's looking like, and a lot of all this problem, I doubt if the incoming president will be able to fix the problem and the rot in the system, because President Muhammadu Buhari has failed in the area of health sector and education, most especially.
We need to go now. Let's keep up the conversation. We pray Nigeria becomes a better place for everyone. I am Olutayo. Good morning.
I'm Kenny Durtulu. The Smart Kid Show is up next.